Hey, it's Akita. Welcome. And I'm going to go ahead and dive into some really cool updates in Canva that I know that you're going to love as a digital product creator like myself. So that means let's dive in and see what's what and who is who. So notice all the clip art here. We're going to be doing a bunch of different things with it. And there's actually something that I have going over here, and I kind of want to, do I want to do it yet? I probably do. Okay, I'm going to do it. Okay, so I clicked, and I don't know what this feature is called, so please forgive me. But basically, when you click a piece of clip art, specifically, this is the use case for a digital product creator. Notice how this little, I don't know, this little oval, like kind of like rectangular, call the shape whatever you will. But then you see the Ask Canva pop up right there. Click on Ask Canva, and you can ask Canva to change something about the picture. So I might say, please make these cookies frosted with white icing. And then I'm just going to go ahead and click submit comment, and it's going to go ahead and do its own thing. All right, so it's thinking right now, and eventually what's going to happen is like a little image, something, a little image box is going to pop up, and it's going to go ahead and give me what I've asked for, which is good. So in terms of just having to leave Canva, or if you're doing a quick design or something like that, and you don't want to like leave it to go to Photopea or something of that nature, you just want, Canva to go ahead and zhuzh it up. Canva will zhuzh it up. And not only that, it will go ahead and zhuzh it up and keep it in the same art style, which is chef's kiss. Can't beat that. Now up here, so this is like one line of a conversation that I'm having with Canva right now with the frosted cookies one. We'll call it that. If I hit this arrow right here to the previous comment, you'll see the previous conversation that I had before I started filming. So I clicked the cookies before, and then I said, hey, make this into a fruitcake. Why not? And so then it gave me the fruitcake, which I can easily just go ahead and add to the design and see how the actual style is very similar. I can just go ahead and take this, shrink down the size, and I can use it however I want to within whatever design that I'm doing. But then I said, go ahead and put the fruitcake on a Christmas themed plate. And it just gave me, oh, no, actually, it did give me kind of what I wanted. It put it on a Christmas themed plate, but it gave me all the other images in the design as well, too. But that's okay. I can just go ahead and just, adjust this and do a little bit of cropping, and then voila. So it's not completely seamless. I think Nano Banana definitely has the market in terms of just editing images right now, but Canva is no slouch. Like, this is actually pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Let me go ahead and click on this, and let's see about these frosted cookies. And we do have some frosted cookies here, although it seems as though it kind of cut off some of the plate, but still pretty cool. All right, so little small edits, nothing really too big, nothing too crazy, and you should be fine. But it's a nice little feature. I'm glad to have it, which means that, and more than likely, they're going to go ahead and, improve it over time. All right, so that is the first one. In the Canva conversations, the Canva comments, there's lots of other stuff you can do with that. That's going to have to be a different video, though. Okay, so clip art, changing images, switching things around. So I'm going to click the Santa hat right here, and then I'm going to go up to edit. And then over here, we have, behold, the style match, brand spanking new. And I'm going to click see all over here next to the style match, so you can just see the awesomeness that is right here. Now, basically what you do is you click a piece of clip art, and then you can go ahead and choose a different style to put the clip art in. So for example, as I'm scrolling down here, we can do like a handmade, like a scrapbook one, watercolor. I guess it's called painterly. We could do a doodle, an etching, line art, which I guess would be more like, for a coloring book or something like that, a cartoon, and you have all these other different trendy options, pixel art, low poly, pop art, etc. I'm just going to go ahead and let's do watercolor. I'm curious to see what this would look like. And it does take a minute or so to go ahead and work its magic, but style match is actually pretty cool, because if you end up with a bunch of different clip art that, is kind of mix match, they don't quite go together, but you want to use the actual object itself, style match will definitely help you out in that regard. No doubt about it. Like, you will be hooked up to the utmost. thanks to Style Match. And I don't even know. Oh, here we go. Look at it. Look. It was looking like this, more of a vector kind of, clip art. But with Style Match on the case, boom, we now have watercolor, and that's what we requested, and that is looking particularly awesome. So I love it. I love it. Okay, now to that extent, or to that particular, line of conversation, let's go ahead and just talk about, okay, let's just say I want watercolor, but I don't want to have to go to the Style Match. Another option that you can go ahead and use is up over here, like up over here to the right. When you click the actual, any piece of clip, I'm just going to go with the Santa hat that's now a watercolor Santa hat. Over here, it says new, it says copy style. So you click on this. There's a copy style basic, which I think is more so used for, text, that sort of thing. But if you click copy art style, which is only a pro feature, this is only pro on this one, you can go ahead and click over here. And then whatever you click next will take on the styling or the art style characteristics of what was clicked first. So if I just go ahead and I click this little gingerbread cookie looking thing over here, it's going to become watercolor, which I think is just completely amazing to me. And honestly, you can just go ahead and rinse and repeat really quickly that entire, like, just boom. Style candy pasted to this graphic. Oh, probably because I pulled it from over there. Okay. Sorry, Fruitcake, you're out of this, but I can go ahead and do. Yes. And so it took the cookie. Let me zoom in and show you. This bad boy is watercolor now. It is watercolor. And so are the cookies turning watercolor. And I'm certain that the actual fireplace will then quickly follow suit. Let me get rid of these fruitcakes because it won't let me do anything outside of the actual Canva. Let me get rid of this X. Yeah, you'll know if whatever you're doing isn't going to work, if that little bar pops up and says, hey, you can't do it. But look, we now have the fireplace. It is watercolor. Just for kicks, I'm just going to go ahead and try this copy art style just with this little arrow and see how it goes. But that is pretty nifty. You have to admit that is pretty daggone cool. And so once again, a whole bunch of missing, not looking right clip arts, all in different styles. You use the Style Match, you use the actual copy style, and then you are basically good to go. Just note the actual, they made it into, oh yes, it's like a little watercolor. Okay. But just take note too, the actual copy art style, this is a pro feature. So you won't see this unless you have Canva Pro. Okay, was that 3? I feel like it was 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we're on 3. Okay, so let's go on over here to text. And I'm just going to go ahead and click add a text box. And it's looking crazy, crazy small. That's okay. I can work with that, as can you. Okay, so this one is saying Avenir, and I have, that's just not one that I prefer to use. I like other different types of fonts. However, I'm going to go ahead and go with Glacial Indifference for right now. Now, here's what you can do, which we were not able to do before. So let me just blow your mind. So I'm kind of a font hogger. I love fonts. I really, really do. Duo fonts, font pairings. But there was never really a way to save the fonts that you were using until now. Thank you, Canva update. You sort of hover over the actual font that you like. 3 little dots will pop up. And when you click it, you can go ahead and click Star Font. And once you start the font, that means all those starred fonts will kind of be living there in the font window. So if I go ahead and I close this out and I want to go ahead and say, for example, get that font, it's going to be right here underneath the starred fonts. You can go ahead and hit the 3 dots again and unstar the font if you want to. But I like having it handy because before I had Canva Pro myself, I had no way of saving it. And then when I did get Canva Pro, I was able to save my brand kit and keep everything set. But I'm like, okay, what if I just want to have just some regular fonts there that I want to kind of reference if I'm doing like an ebook or some templates or something like that? This solves that issue. It solves it. Yay. Okay, so that is that. So just fill in fonts to your heart's content. It should make you a lot more productive doing your digital products, your digital product creation. All right, now last but not least, and this is something that was not a recent update, but perhaps I'm guessing some people don't know. I simply assume that people don't know stuff when I'm like, oh, what? That was a thing. But let's look over here. Actually, no, let me grab a new piece of clip art. I'm a Christmas cookie kick. Let's go with this. Okay, so some people realize, or maybe have noticed, let me move the Santa hat out the way, go with this little cookies, that if you click on a piece of clip art in Canva that's been made in Canva and you hit the three dots to get more, you can actually scroll to the bottom and then click on info if it's highlighted. Now within the info, it tells you basically what the keywords are for the actual clip art, who made it. In this case, this was actually made by, actually, no, I take it back. It was made by Annika Saxena. And so you can go ahead and click on this and you'll see more things that that particular person made and so forth. I just have to go ahead and just, chime in on that. And of course, if you scroll all the way to the right and you want to go ahead and just get the free stuff that the person made, that's a possibility too, if they made any, but it looks like all of her stuff, Annika, is all paid. However, here's what I wanted to show you. You click on the piece of clip art and then you hit the three dots and then you go ahead and click on info. And once you get to info, you can go ahead and click star. Now star makes certain, much like with the font, you can easily find it again if you want to go ahead and use it. What I didn't realize, because I've always accessed my starred fonts like in a folder in the main menu of Canva, I had never tried to access my starred fonts over here kind of in the menu bar. But if you scroll down, let's see here, right here is starred. It pops up right there for starred. I've clicked it. Look, this is what I just saved, what I just starred, and it's like all right there. So you can easily go ahead and reference objects, clip art that you want to go ahead and reuse over and over again, like little swirlies, polka dots. I don't know why I saved this. Unstar, dagnabbit. Hit the three dots. I can unstar this too. Yes, thank you for the three dots. And so that is basically it in a nutshell. All these really cool, I guess, like glow ups here in Canva, and it should really, really improve your product creation and make things a little bit easier for you in terms of clip art and changing and tweaking and all that kind of good stuff. Not to mention the fonts. I'm geeking out over the fonts too. Love it. But that is it for me. I hope that you have a great day. Please consider liking, subscribing if you like this type of content. And I think that's about it. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And so long. Bye.